we are supposed to be as witch talk influencers. Whether or not we like that label, that's what we are. We influence people. That's why there's people in this live watching it. We have to always be factual. Always. And even if we have a hunch that someone is doing something and we don't know whether or not they're doing it, we didn't see it, like, I'm very much on the side of believing survivors and all of that, but there's a lot of very dangerous people on here that are spreading a lot of different misinterpretations on purpose to pin people against each other. And that's why I've learned that lesson.
Okay, but I reached out to you as a survivor and said that things that you were saying about me were resulting in me getting threats and severely impacting my health, and you ignored that and you didn't fucking care, and you weren't even willing to talk to me.
Yes. That is because I have done these lives, these conversations, these situations for years. You also have to think about the fact that before any of this happened, or I had any nuance that you were talking about me or me versus you or whatever, you had unfollowed me and followed me so many times, and it was pointed out to me a lot because I have employees that are constantly monitoring my stuff, and that was already sketchy. And if you had made that statement about the spell work about Ivan in particular, that's perfectly fine. I can correct myself on that and apologize. My issue, though, is that I have screenshots of you in private conversations talking about me in those particular ways.
Yeah, okay, show them. Yeah, you used that as evidence when you made 4 separate videos slandering me in which you said, let's talk about facts, okay? Several infactual things about me. You said that I've only been practicing for a year. I literally was raised by witches. I've been practicing my entire life, longer than you, 20 to 22 years, okay? How is anyone supposed to believe anything that you're saying? And if you look at that screenshot that you keep using as evidence in this situation, okay, it literally backs up everything that I said, that I reached out to you and told you that I was getting threats, and you ignored it and didn't care. And it's obvious by you sharing it that you saw it. Like...
Yes, because I did see it. And I did ignore it because that is something that has constantly happened in this community. You have to understand. From my perspective, I did not talk about you first. I had conversations where people, your own mutuals, were coming to me, telling me that my name was in your mouth. Then you're indecisively following me, unfollowing me, all of this sketchy behavior. I got annoyed. I snapped back and basically said that you were annoying me. I understand that I did not care about your mental well-being and stuff like that, because that is what almost every single practitioner that has ever had any interaction with any other practitioners always done, is start a problem and then all of the sudden make me, who's mad and bothered by the situation, care about your mental health. At this point, I'm supposed to prioritize mine and my platform and my reputation over someone's mental health. You have to understand, the video that you made about me, every time I've ever made a video or talked about you on a live, it was only in defense to something that you had previously said before. I had only ever made responses to you.
If I'm being harassed by your followers because of something that you post, you literally said that that's just the internet and you didn't care that I was getting harassed by your followers. Like, what does that say about you? Like, if the situation were reversed and I said something about you that was resulting in you getting threats, I would absolutely condemn that behavior, but you didn't. And your entire platform is supposed to be about supporting survivors. How is that supporting survivors if you're actively being complicit in them receiving threats?
Actually, I recall on every single live I ever brought up your name telling people to leave you alone, because I was also telling people to leave me alone. And in fact, the majority of any of these conversations, I told people that this was not worth it and that I didn't even want to be in a situation like this. And I told people, and I have constantly, whether it was talking about you just a couple days ago, I wasn't talking about anyone. And I told people to never defend me, whether it's a follower, whether it's a friend, because I'm more than capable for standing up for myself, and I'm not going to get a bunch of other people to go fight my battles for me. I am constantly telling my own community, my own audience, to practice discernment and to not even trust me or any other practitioner on here, or to defend or blindly attack another practitioner because it's not their battle in the first place. And if I wanted to say the things that I wanted to say, I would go say them to you. And that is something that I've been very consistent about since the very first time I've talked about you or anyone else. I've never.
Can we talk about the fact, because you keep saying when the charm stuff was going on, which was literally to bully me, that I've already talked about, that I've already cleared up, okay? You literally said in a video that you made about me that it was convenient for you that I was getting smeared because you thought I made a diss about you that wasn't actually about you. Like, which is something that I've heard historically from other women in this community, that you think they make these little side disses about you and then you publicly accuse them of racism. Like, is that not a problematic pattern? Does that not indicate that you might have some hatred in your heart towards women? Or you potentially think that, like why are you internalizing all of these things that don't actually have anything to do with you and thinking they're about you?
So I would love to talk about that conversation as well. I think that is a separate conversation than between
I don't
you
think
and me.
so. I think it's relevant. Let's talk about it.
No, I mean, we can have that conversation. I think that we need to talk about what's going on between us before we can talk about that topic as a whole. We need to lock in between each other so that we can actually talk about that, because that's a very widespread conversation and that involves a lot of names, a lot of people, and a lot of years. The one thing I just want to clear up real quick is that the only reason that I went as big as I did was because of the video you made about me. The video that you made about me, the last one in April, and the way that you did that, if you want to talk about mental health and all of that, and you want people to care about your mental health or be concerned about that or take that into matters, then maybe you shouldn't dedicate a video to me on Sexual Assault Awareness Month because it's Sexual Assault Awareness Month. If you want to talk about things being triggering.
Okay, well, it makes you a hypocrite. Like, the fact that you have that background, you have the same trauma that I do, and you weaponize that against me, that makes you a hypocrite. Your entire platform is built around supporting survivors, and yet you don't actually do it when push comes to shove, and that's fucked up. And I called you out on that, and I stand by it. That's why my video about it is still up.
But I never mentioned your trauma, not one time. That's why the first question I ever asked you was, did you hear something or did you see something? Because I never once mentioned your past, your trauma, and in fact, you're the one that brought up my past and my trauma and my abusers. Not one time, ever, did I mention your past. The only thing I mentioned about your mental health, your trauma, or anything like that is that you seem to be, in that time, very emotional and reactive towards me, and it felt like there was just a deeper issue than just the situation going on.
Your actions, me reaching out to you and telling you that I was getting threats of sexual violence from your followers, and you saying, I don't care, that's the internet, that is you not giving a fuck about actual survivors. I'm sorry, but it is. Like, forget what was said about in the live.
Do you not think that I didn't get that reaction from your followers? Do you not think we all get that? We all get those reactions. The moment I have a problem, do you know, I even defended you after all this, and I've defended Charm, and I've defended Ruby after all of this because people used it as a scapegoat to be misogynistic, used it as a scapegoat to be racist and all that. And I've corrected my own audience. If someone, and I've said this time and time again, if someone is utilizing the fact that they follow me to go attack someone, that says something about them. I cannot control my audience, and I have time and time again told my audience not to do things like that. It does not represent me. I do not support that. I do not condone that. But
you even said in the video that you made about me that you didn't care and that was just the internet. Like, you don't actively, like, dismiss, you don't actively actively discondone threats of violence. Like, that's a problem.
Because you dragged me for months on months on months, and I finally, like I said, the only time I talked about you,
I made one video about you. One.
And I only made one in response to you before the other. That was after. You made one video and deleted it. I kept that video. My video response stayed up. Then you made another video about me like 6 months later. And then I responded.
That's not true. That original video wasn't about you. That was about Ivan. Also, like, why are you not using your critical thinking skills? In that video, I said that it's crazy that witches who charge tens of thousands of dollars for spells that's crazy. You don't fall into that category. Why did you think that was about you?
That one. No, you confirmed on lives. You confirmed on comment sections.
No, I didn't. There were no comments in that video mentioning you, Loki.
Okay, what about the Snapchat group chat that you're in, where you're talking about throwing work on me? Let's talk about the justice work that you put on me.
Someone, okay, I can address that.
Where you're asking for my actual name. This is part of the reason why
I wanted to talk to you. Someone came to me.
You wanted to ask for my dead name.
Someone came to me and told me that you had essayed a child. Okay, and based on that information, I was thinking about throwing something because I thought, obviously, I don't condone that sort of behavior. This is part of the reason why I wanted to talk to you in private. I don't understand why we couldn't have this conversation in private, because I wanted to clear that up and be like, what is actually going on here? Like, that's part of the other reason why I feel so heated about this, is because people are coming to me and telling me that you're a predator, that you've done things. And obviously, like, as someone who is a survivor themselves, like, I have to take that seriously. Like, and especially because you're such a powerful creator in this community, okay? Like, that's why I wanted to talk to you about this in private. I don't understand why we're not having this conversation in private.
Well, I feel as a practitioner, you should have been able to use your discernment to know that maybe the victim of trafficking isn't the predator.
How do I know that when you continuously attack women on this app all the time? And how does that make any sense?
Because my entire platform and name is built off of protecting survivors on your name.
This is just things that I'm assuming. Someone sent me screenshots of someone claiming to be your family member coming forward saying that you essayed them. Okay,
yeah,
I have to take that seriously.
That person was also involved in trafficking me and got pregnant by a 14-year-old boy. That's why, once again, and I've been public about that person, because that person has nothing on me, not a single screenshot, not a single picture, not a single person has spoken against me and actually made that claim. That is a pedophile trying to steer a poisonous, toxic thing on my name, and because y'all will be so quick to dislike me or someone else that you'll immediately believe the people who do not like me. Do you know how many times you or me or anyone else on here has been lied about significantly? And I feel like if that was the
issue, I've tried so many times when the original charm situation came out and this one to talk to you behind closed doors, and you won't do it. That's why all these miscommunications keep happening, and any of this is happening in the first place. If you would just be willing to have an actual conversation with me, like, none of this would be happening at all, frankly.
Right.
Can you take accountability for that?
Kind of, because at the end of the day, when someone comes to me and starts an entire, not relationship, but connection of knowing each other by talking on me, attacking me, like I said, you've been in group chats talking about me and talking about how I'm weird and how you don't trust me and that's why you unfollow me and all of those things before the stuff about Ivan's prices, before any of that. You have been on my name, on my lives before. That was weird behavior.
Because I've heard continuously from dozens of women in this community that you're sketchy and that you attack them. Like, that to me communicates that you're a misogynist. Like, I see how you talk about women on your page, and I don't think it's okay, frankly. Like, how could I not come to that conclusion on my own?
Because the fact that, one, you are, once again, talking to a bunch of people that simply don't like me. You say something that you don't like about me, they're going to come to you. I have people knocking on everyone's doors. Also, it's kind of hard to answer that question when we're in the middle of our direct conversation about our connection. Because I would love to address all of that, as I have many, many, many times, and I have a video on every single person I have ever done that about, which has receipts with every single single one, something that none of those practitioners have ever been able to provide, except for the times that I've been reactive and defending.
But can you see, okay, but it's not like, it's not something that's, oh, people are just claiming. Like, you continuously make videos solely about women on this app and accuse them of racism because you're insecure. Like, why do you do that? Like, talk about, like, why? Like, how would I not come to that conclusion? And why would I want to talk to you if you are that way? Like,
probably because the last time I got into any problems on the internet was 2024, before we had any kind of negative interaction, and then you were the only other person that I had a negative interaction with. Also, the majority of the practitioners I have ever had any problems with have been men. A very extreme.
Well, it's funny that you don't seem to flame them on your page as much as you do the women.
No, I did. I have spent years doing that. The most recent ones must have been women. But once again, I have spent years doing this. Years. I have called people out for years. And once again, I have never thrown on any of them. I have never sent any of my audience towards them. I have simply posted receipts. I have never threatened to harm any of these people. I have never threatened once to attack anyone, actually, ever. And there will not be a single receipt that comes up where I have threatened to attack anyone, because I haven't.
But you speak on people, you publicly accuse them of racism in situations where you literally weaponize the fact that a sleepless mind is an indigenous completely dismissed her multiracial identity, like, and talk shit about her and slammed her when she is literally an indigenous person. Like, how is that not fucking misogynistic? Like,
so let's bring up the fact that ASM, first of all, is a name that gives me a headache, because I talked about ASM one time ever, and that was after spending 3 years being silent because ASM was trying to disprove my trauma, disprove my practice, and constantly turning people against me for years. I finally one day reached out to ASM and told ASM that they had a mutual that was a pedo and was going around saying the N-word as a non-black person. And then they blew up and made several videos about me being very aggressive. And then, yes, I reacted poorly. That was the one and only time I have ever called someone the C word. Yes, that was distasteful.
You called someone the C word. Okay,
yes,
okay. And we're saying you're not a misogynist. All right.
So I sat there for years being attacked by all of these people, and I reacted poorly one time. This was years ago, also, mind you. No, yes, I fucked up. I also said that that was a bad thing. I agreed with that. But that was years and years and years of staying silent, staying nice, not saying anything, while this person was involving themselves in my personal life, having personal conversations about me, interacting with practitioners that are doxing me and getting my house raided by police. This person attacked me for years, and I finally responded and said that I called them a whack-ass C word. That's what I said. And I told them to get some sleep, because they spent 3 years attacking me back to back before I ever said anything. And yes, that was the one time I ever said that. And I regretted it. And if y'all want to sit there on a live for hours and hours and talk about giving people some grace, that was the only time I had ever said something that was even relatively similar to a slur, outside of saying the word bitch. And that's a whole nother conversation. And I realize I need to censor myself simply for TikTok's sake. But that's why there's no other screenshots of me doing that. The only other screenshots of me being aggressive towards women is simply confronting them for the fact that they scammed someone, that they did something harmful, or that they were attacking me or my name. It's all.
Do you see how you continuously attacking, like, disproportionately women on this app looks? And also the fact that you refused to have a private conversation with me about any of this when I was trying to de-escalate? Like, why would you not reach out to me privately? Like,
because of the fact that you dedicated a video to me on Sexual Assault Awareness Month as a victim of trafficking.
Because you're a hypocrite. If that's where you're coming from, okay, coming to you as a survivor. If someone came to me and they said, and you said that you were getting threats of violence because of something that I said about you, I would address that. I would take it down. I would hear you. Like, you're not a good person. Like,
no,
you're not a good person and you're a hypocrite.
That's not how that works. I've had my house raided by people. I've had Nazis show up to my doorstep because of this app, because of being doxxed, because of people taking things seriously. I get those types of threats every single day simply because I make videos in this community. If you're going to get involved and start conspiracies, I also clarified that no, you didn't deserve that. Should that be happening? No. Do I condone that? No, not at all. Do I condemn that?
Okay, well, you didn't publicly say that, and you didn't even talk to me about it. No, you didn't.
I publicly said that. Oh, yes, I did. I publicly stated it on stories. I reposted multiple comments. I did lots of that. And not only, but I've stated that for years. Like I said, you're not the first conversation I've had this about. This has been for years. This is something that happens for years. You put yourself in a huge spotlight. You pissed off a lot of practitioners, and I could have fully, wholeheartedly agreed with you. And about charm and all of that.
Can you take any accountability for the fact now that all this stuff about charm is coming out, that you weaponized the situation for your own game because you didn't like me, not because you're actually an ally? Like, because you literally admitted that. You said that the only reason that you even started talking about it is because you didn't like me. Like, what is that? Like,
that's not even true. Did not say that.
You said that in your video. Yeah, you did.
That
you said
you
said it was convenient that I was being accused of racism because you didn't like me, because you thought I made a video dissing you that wasn't even about you.
I never said the word convenient. I said that it didn't surprise me because of the fact that you had basically blown up all over me in a weird video that took me by surprise. That is what I said. I've never once said that it was convenient that someone was racist.
You did. I can pull it up. It's in the video. You said that it was convenient for you that I was being accused of racism because you didn't like me and you thought I was shady.
I did say that you're shady. I can take accountability for the fact that, yes, during that time, I did drag that situation into it because you had pissed me off. People do that. You did that to me about my drug addict mother. You did that to me about
I said in my video that was something that I had heard from multiple women, that because you have unresolved trauma with your mom, you take it out on women on this app. I didn't say that I believe that, and I literally said in the video, I don't know if that's true, but I've heard that from multiple women on this app.
So if you want to talk about accountability and sending people to attack victims and all of that, then maybe you shouldn't be spreading rumors or gossip, and maybe you should be spreading factual information with receipts.
Okay, but can you see how I literally said that I heard this information from other people? Like, there's I've never said that I had a text or anything. Like,
but then you put that on blast to hundreds of thousands of people, and I woke up on my birthday getting attacked while you're trying to find my dead name and my actual birthday. Which you got wrong, by the way.
I never did that. I never did that. I never did that.
Okay.
I never did that.
I guess we're doing this. I guess we will bring them up right now because I very much have this screenshot from Snapchat. And I'm sorry, but is this literally not you? One second, let me spin it around real quick. But is this literally not you talking about doing justice work and trying to find out my information?
Okay, but can you see how if someone sent me a screenshot literally saying that you essayed a child, why I would do that? Yeah, I did that. I did that because I thought someone sent me a screenshot saying that you would taken advantage. Someone also said that you've literally hired minors to spy on your ops and taken advantage of them. I don't think that's okay. So,
don't you think that that would have been a bigger situation that would have been dealt with years ago with the fact that I have so many enemies, including ones that have shown up to my house? And if my house has been raided,
I was going based off of information that I had that someone else had given me. As someone who doesn't condone,
let's use common sense. Okay, I'm a victim of trafficking who you immediately had my enemies coming towards me. They might be a little bit biased. I've had the cops raid my house multiple times.
What does that have to do with this? This doesn't have anything to do with this. I went off information that someone told me from multiple times that you have taken advantage of minors, that you have essayed them. Okay?
Okay,
I
and
was
where's
going
the
off
proof
of that
of that?
information. How am I not going to do justice work in that
Going
situation?
off of
Like,
fake information and then putting me on blast as a victim. Do you not understand the fact that if I was literally anyone else on this app, I could have unalived myself simply because of those allegations because I'm a victim?
I could have unalived myself because of the allegations that you made against me in this situation.
but
Like the
you
fact that
attacked me.
you weren't willing. No, you made videos about me first. You were talking
I
about
didn't.
me first, and I reached out to you to try and resolve it privately, and you didn't.
I have screenshots that I have shown, that I have posted, that I've gone live about, showing that every single time I have ever interacted with you or a conversation with you, it was literally reacting to something that you had said. That is just simply facts. You can look at all of the dates with any video posted. You can look at the dates from when I re-uploaded the live streams and put those in my content. You can look at, I mean, all of that. I literally have
You could have
shown
flipped
all of
those. How do we know that's the full thing? Like,
What do you-
that doesn't prove anything.
What do you mean? Those are exactly the conversations, and not only that, but I have hundreds of people vouching for me, confirming that they were in that
I
live
have
stream.
dozens of people saying that you said the things about me that you did on live. So
That's not true. I read your comment section.
it is true, though. I had people
It's
tell me
not.
that
I read your
privately.
comment section.
I had
The
people tell
only
me
thing that
privately.
people have said about me is that they don't like me, or they heard this, or I am a piece of shit, or I am this. The only.
How are you gonna continue? Okay, can
Hold on, I lost internet.
coming to me and saying with essay allegations against you, can you see how that looks? And also you never entertaining a private conversation with me when I was getting threats as a victim. Can you see how that looks? Can you see how that might make me draw certain conclusions about you? And you could say it's gossip or whatever, but if I'm hearing these things from like 30 different people, why would I not believe them?
You're not hearing that I essayed anyone from 30 different people.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying I heard that from at least 4 different people
No, you
and
didn't.
from dozens of women that you flamed them. Yes, I did. Yes, I
You
did.
didn't.
Yes,
Show
I
me.
did. Yes,
Show
I
me.
did. And I don't talk to that person. I don't talk to those 2 people anymore. But
I'm sure you don't. Because they're
Like,
using you.
I
They're
just-
trying to just get you to start not liking a bunch of people like they do with everyone else. That is literally, we've been doing this for years. The community has done this for years. I have done this for years. I have been on these lives. I have been on the opposite end of these lives. I have woken up to so many threats. It's convenient that these types of allegations come out with no names, no receipt, nothing. My issue is that you uploaded that video. Hundreds of thousands of people saw that and came after me. I have children and families that rely on me and my business. If you want to talk about supporting women and DV victims, I have a family that escaped, flew in from Alaska to get away from a DV victim, and is hired under me to seek refuge. If you take away my platform, you're not just taking away my income or my influence.
I could say the same thing too. And you were the one who attacked me publicly in the. You were the one who publicly attacked me, made videos about me, and went live about me multiple times before I posted anything about you. Anything. So
that's
you're a
simply not
fucking
true.
hypocrite. You're lying in my face, and I'm not doing this anymore.
Okay. Once again, I think she just told on herself, y'all. I thought she wanted to come on here and have a conversation, but the entire time she's sitting there flailing her fucking hands and all of that, and sitting there being like, wah, wah, wah. She could not bring up a single date. She could not bring up a single piece of receipt. She could not bring up any of that. She couldn't even defend anything. Literally could not defend a single thing at all. Like, she didn't prove not one thing. Not one thing. She couldn't say anything that held. I'm really confused on what the point of that was. Honestly, she was sitting there being like, can we have a civil conversation? Can we have this? Yeah. Sorry, y'all. Did I raise my voice to her once? Did I say anything shitty? Did I attack her one time in this conversation? Because I'm sure she's going to say that. Did I demean her, degrade her? Did I do any of that? Did I do anything in this conversation right now, y'all? Almost 2,000 fucking people are watching this. Did I do anything wrong in that situation? Please start telling me, because I know not all of y'all are my followers, and I know a lot of y'all hate me, so just be honest. I don't feel like I did anything, and if she's gonna sit there and say that I sat there and I've been aggressive and I've attacked all these people and all of that, then don't you think that I would have been the one that did that? And why can't she talk about the fact that she got my dead name and my birthdays, and she admitted that she didn't get any receipts for anything and that she didn't even trust those people. She admitted right then and there that it was gossip, that it was evidence, that she didn't even believe it. And then when I backed her into that corner about that, and then you're gonna sit there and throw around the fact that I SA'd someone. So once again, we just don't give a fuck about the fact that I'm a victim. And then I brought that up and I was like, so you guys. So then you're just gonna throw that around. You're gonna throw that around and then leave when you realize that that doesn't hold true. You get caught in a lie, and then you leave. So you could not show one piece of evidence. That the moment I bring up the fact that you were looking for my dead name, you want to talk about putting people in danger, the fact, okay, this is you throwing work on me. This is you throwing work on me and digging up my dead name. You know exactly who I was. You knew my platform. You're going to say that you didn't know that I was a victim of trafficking, but you brought up my mom and my trauma in your videos. And not only that, but here in this live, you specifically mentioned that I'm built around helping victims and all of that because of my history and all of that. So yeah, you did know. So I don't even understand how far out of field that got and how fast. But I don't fucking get that. The screenshot, I'm sorry y'all, I didn't know that y'all couldn't read it. The screenshot says, I know, it's like, wait 1 second, I can mirror it. I would rather just show you guys honestly, because she's gonna say I faked it, okay? I'm sorry. Hold on. Let me read it first and then I'll show you guys. So then y'all can like also screenshot it and stuff like that, but I can't read it when I do that. Sophie says, thank you. The person says, I believe he turned 23. Sophie is Sag Moon. Thank you especially for sharing his real name with me, and his birthday is April 12th. I'm going to do some justice work behind closed doors to remedy this. Please keep this between us. Okay, so now I'm going to show you guys that so you can make your own judgments. Right there. Hold on. Let me try to focus it. Screenshot, y'all. Screenshot. Do your thing. Okay. Okay, so I'm not lying about that. The moment I confront you for doing shady work on me without any proof for the things that you don't like me for, you immediately leave. I was about to have the conversation about all the women I supposedly attacked, but the moment I confronted you on one of them, you still chose to side with the perpetrator and the person that attacked me for 3 years. But yes, let's condemn me for a word I said years ago after retaliating, after being attacked for 3 years and staying silent on it. Yeah, let's bury me alive for that. Yeah, no, it's weird, and it's justice work. Okay, I think that justice work just put you on spotlight in front of almost 2,000 people where you were caught lying. That was really weird to me. That was really weird. I thought that we were going to have an adult civil conversation. And then when she realized that I wasn't just going to like, and I wasn't even being disrespectful. That was weird. Maybe this is why I didn't have a conversation with you. Maybe this is why I didn't have a conversation with you. And then I get harassed for months to have a conversation with you, by other creators, by your audience, by my audience, all that. I finally get to have that conversation that you begged me for, and why can't you have this? Why can't you have the civil conversation? Okay, let's have the civil conversation, and you do that. I'm sorry, I didn't realize that this was what y'all considered a civil conversation, but this is exactly why I'm not a part of this community. This is why I left for several months. This is exactly why I unmutualed almost every person in the community, and I'm just now making mutuals again. This is exactly why I haven't been a part of it, and exactly why I was not going to express my opinion on a situation I was not a part of. Let's also talk about the fact that she is friends with a very practitioner who's going around telling people that I'm essaying them in their dreams. And they had a phone call with me about that, about how a practitioner was pretending to be me, like disguising themselves as me, cloaking as me, to go into that person's dreams and essay them as me. And they told me that through a very detailed conversation on the phone, knowing I am a victim of SA. Do you guys not understand how triggering that could be? But they're friends with that person, they're mutuals with that person. Not that she would know that that person did that to me, because most people don't. You know why? Because I'm tired of having these conversations. So, once again, this is why I'm not involved in y'all's community. It is psychosis, that was. So then you're gonna sit there and talk about how I'm so triggering for you in your past and your situation and all of that, but once again, never brought it up, never brought up your essay, never brought any kind of trauma up, never brought any kind of abuse up, never brought up your family, never brought up any future kids, never brought up any of that. But what we do have proof of, and she admitted that I never brought any of that up, and she at the same time admitted that she brought up my abusive mother that, you know, trafficked me. She brought up all of my trauma. She brought that stuff up, and then is gonna sit there and say that the worst thing that I said about her was that her fake ass crying was ruining her shitty makeup. That was the worst thing I said about her. That's it.
I am being deliberately smeared in an effort to discredit me for speaking out about violence against women and misogyny in the spiritual community. Several days ago, I was baited into a live that was aimed specifically at assassinating my character in an effort, again, to discredit me for speaking out about exploitation, blackmail, and misogyny that I experienced at the hands of a man in this community. The reason that I even joined the live in the first place is because the person who is hosting it has supported the person that I recently spoke out against before, attacked me in defense of them, etc., etc., and I was invited under the guise of peacemaking. I thought that this person wanted to invite me on live to apologize to me for past treatment because of everything that has come out about this person that they have repeatedly defended and attacked me in defense of. And frankly, I should have known better and just not gone on live given this person's history and the fact that they do this to a lot of people, but I was hopeful that peacemaking was a possibility. As you can imagine, I was completely caught off guard and very angered by the fact that this was not in fact the intention of the live at all, but rather a calculated attempt to smear my character and make me look unreliable for speaking out about abuse, misogyny, blackmail, and exploitation perpetuated by men in the spiritual community. Before I address some of the specifics of the live, I just want to have you kind of imagine the type of person that would be threatened by someone speaking out about misogyny and abuse within the spiritual community. I want you to think about the type of person who might be scared or threatened by someone doing that. and why it might be in that person's best interest to discredit that person, to slander them, to make them look unreliable after coming forward with those claims. This is something that happens time and time again when women in spaces come forward about abuse. Men who do the same type of shit are very quick to come and be like, this person's lying, this person did this, that, and the other, in order to discredit them, to cover up their own ass. Because when a woman speaks out so openly and fearlessly about abuse, they know deep down that it's only a matter of time until they're next. Let's address some of the specifics in the live. The biggest thing that I've seen is that I deliberately reached out to this person's abuser to get information on them, which is absolutely and 100% untrue. I would never do that. Several months ago, when I made a video speaking about a repeated pattern of misogynistic behavior from this person, an anonymous source came to me on behalf of someone who claimed to be a victim that suffered sexual abuse at the hands of Loki. And they also offered me their government name. I never asked for any of those things. I know that Loki is trans. I never asked for their dead name. I never asked for their government name, and I never reached out to their abuser. Those things were offered to me by an anonymous source through Snapchat, which is why I don't have screenshots of them. But I would never deliberately reach out to someone's abuser, even someone that I hated or didn't like. I would never do that. That's not the kind of person that I am. I would never do that. Also, I don't even know how I would find someone's abuser in the first place. Like, how would I just know that information? I want you to understand too, a lot of people are saying, well, why did you believe them? Why do you believe everything that everyone tells you? I'm sorry, but I am the type of person who believes victims when they come forward. That is just the kind of person that I am, and I had no reason at the time to believe that that person wasn't telling the truth. Did I cast a justice working after that information was given to me? Yes, I did. Yes, I fucking did. I will never deny that. If someone comes forward to me and tells me that they are a victim of sexual abuse, I am going to do a justice working in that situation. The nature of the justice work that I do is to restore equilibrium to a situation, and so if for whatever reason those things that that person said weren't true, it wouldn't have an effect and it wouldn't work. No harm, no foul either way. Like, if there's no equilibrium to restore to a situation, it won't be restored. That situation specifically, and a lot of other stuff that was said in the live, was deliberately twisted in a specific way to make me look unreliable, to make me look like the problem in the situation. Okay, and like, those are Darvo tactics. Those are narcissistic abuse tactics. A lot of people were also tone policing me and criticizing me for getting visibly upset in the live. But of course, if someone is coming forward and saying all of these horrible things about you, accusing you of all these horrible things, you're gonna get upset. And that's what narcissists do. That's what abusers do. They stay very, very calm and accuse you of crazy, crazy things. And then when you get upset about it, it makes you look crazy. And please, again, like, I want to draw attention to why this person is even doing this in the first place. Like, why would they feel threatened by me speaking out about blackmail, about violence, about things that are going on behind the scenes? Why would they even feel the need to discredit me and embarrass me and bait me into a live like that? This is not new. This is what people do every time someone comes, especially a woman, comes forward about abuse, comes forward about neglect, is they actively, if they're doing the same sorts of things and they don't want them to be exposed, they're gonna actively try to discredit that person, to make them look crazy, to smear them. I'd also like to say that I've been in a very vulnerable place for the last couple days to be baited into a live like that. I've been very upset. I've been very traumatized. I've been very triggered and discombobulated by this entire situation that I even was speaking about in the first place. So I was in a very vulnerable place to be baited into a live like that. Please understand why people are doing these things. Please understand why people are saying these things. The next time that you see something that is deliberately to smear me, my character, police my tone, accuse me of abuse or things of that nature, understand the motives of the source. Think about why someone might want you to think that about me. please, the next time that you see a video talking about this, or this person slandering my character, or other people slandering my character because of things that this person said, please understand the motives of this source. It benefits this person for you to think that I'm crazy and unreliable and a bad person, because that discredits the things that I came out about that also make them look bad. And again, I know a lot of you don't like me right now. I know the way that things are being painted makes me seem unreliable or crazy, but please use your discernment and understand why things are being painted that way. Please use your discernment. Please see the bigger picture. Please think about why it benefits this person saying these things about me or perpetuating these narratives about me. Because genuinely, it does. They've done a lot of the same shit that Charm is getting flamed for because of what I said. Like, it does. Like, please think about it. Understand why this narrative is being perpetuated by this person and why it benefits them for you not to believe me or think that I'm crazy. We are gathered here today to mourn the diva formerly known as Sag Moon Magic. Unfortunately, she is no longer with us because a very powerful group of wizards with big wieners placed a death curse on her. But now the spicy diva is in a better place. She is in the deep fiery depths of Tartarus, probably having margaritas with Hades, and frankly we love that for her. This would normally be the part of the funeral where I say some nice things about the deceased, but according to this file given to me by the internet, she's nothing but a massive bitch and a big old hoe who doesn't know when to shut her fucking mouth. Suppose in that case it's rather good things played out the way that they did. I've heard Sag Moon Magic's familiar Castiel has some encouraging, hopeful, and uplifting words to give us during this difficult time. So I will now hand this candle holder that I am pretending is a microphone over to him. Wow, that was so articulate and insightful. Can always count on Mr. Castiel to have good words of encouragement during difficult times like these. I have here the diva formerly known as Sag Moon Magic's will and testament, if you will. It says here that all proceeds and any funds remaining in my bank account will be donated to Divas Without Borders. Lovely. And the remaining assets of her business and the position of CFO will be handed over to Sag Moon Magic's familiar, Castiel the Cat. Castiel, I would like you to please at this time verbally confirm that you accept the new position of CFO of Sag Moon Magic LLC. Lovely, I accept the double blink as a confirmed yes. As a final tribute to the diva formerly known as Sag Moon Magic, I will now recite this song about sea lions in her honor, because I heard she liked them a rather unusual amount. She was a sea lion on the land, and now she's in the sea in the sky. She was a sea lion in the land, and now she's in the sky. Rest in peace, diva.